Here is what Boise, Idaho Housing Market Update 2026 looks like. Here's what nobody is telling you about Boise right now. The market did not crash, it did not stall, and it is not waiting for you to make up your mind. While everyone spent the last 2 years debating whether Boise was overpriced, something quietly shifted. Inventory opened up, prices found a floor, and the buyers who kept waiting, they're still waiting, while the ones who moved are already building equity in one of the most resilient mid-sized markets in the country. If you're thinking about buying in Boise, Meridian, Eagle, or Nampa in 2026, and you're trying to figure out whether now is the right time or whether you should hold off a little longer, this video is exactly for you. I'm Barbara Dopp, your local Boise real estate expert. I've been helping buyers and families relocate to the Treasure Valley for nearly 20 years, and I know this market the way most people know their own backyard. In this video, I'm breaking down the full 2026 Boise housing market update. Prices, inventory, mortgage rates, the local economy, and what it all means if you are planning to buy this year. If this kind of content is helpful, hit subscribe because I put out local market updates and relocation content regularly. Now let's get into it. The number everyone gets wrong first. Let us start with the one stat everyone wants to know. What are homes actually selling for right now? According to Redfin, the median sale price in Boise City proper in early 2026 is sitting in the range of $440,000 to $450,000. That's down meaningfully from the 2022 peak when the median briefly touched $550,000. But here's what most people miss. We are not in free fall. We went through a real correction followed by a stabilization period, and by late 2025 into early 2026, prices have actually started ticking back up modestly. Zoom out to the broader Treasure Valley, and the picture gets more nuanced. According to the Intermountain MLS data, Meridian and Eagle continue to command a premium. Eagle in particular has stayed stubbornly high due to limited land supply and consistent demand from higher income relocators. Nampa, on the other hand, remains one of the most accessible entry points in the valley, with median prices running noticeably below Boise proper. That makes Nampa a real conversation worth having if you're a first-time buyer or an investor thinking long-term. The takeaway here is simple. Boise is not a market in distress. It is a market that recalibrated, and recalibration looks very different from a crash. Now that we know where prices are, the next thing you need to understand is what's driving them. And that comes down to one word: inventory. The supply story nobody saw coming. For years, Boise was a place where you showed up with your best offer, waived inspections, and still lost. That era is behind us. According to Zillow research, active inventory in the Boise metro has increased substantially compared to 2021 and 2022 levels, giving buyers something they have not had in a long time: real options. But I want you to slow down before you get too comfortable. More inventory does not mean a buyer's market across the board. In desired pockets of Eagle and Meridian, well-priced homes are still moving relatively quickly. The inventory increase is most visible at higher price points, above $600,000, where we are seeing longer days on market and more price reductions. Below $400,000, competition still exists, especially for move-in ready properties. According to the National Association of Realtors, a balanced market is typically defined as 4 to 6 months of housing supply. Boise has been hovering in that range, which means neither buyers nor sellers hold all the cards right now. The balance is actually a very healthy place to negotiate from if you know what you're doing. The rate reality check. Okay, let us talk about the thing that has been the elephant in every real estate room for the past 3 years: mortgage rates. According to Freddie Mac, the 30-year fixed rate has remained in the mid to upper 6% range heading into 2026, with some forecasters in the Mortgage Bankers Association projecting a gradual easing toward the high fives by mid to late 2026, if inflation continues its current downward trend. I'm not going to sit here and promise you rates are going to drop and you should wait. What I will tell you is this: Every month you wait, hoping for a lower rate, is a month of equity you are not building in a market where prices are stabilizing and could start rising again. The math on waiting rarely works out the way people expect. A modest price increase can easily outpace the savings from a slightly better rate. If rates do fall later this year, you can always refinance, but you cannot go back and buy at today's prices if values move. So here's where we stand so far. Prices have corrected from the 2022 peak, but are stabilizing. Inventory has opened up and given buyers real leverage they did not have 2 years ago. And mortgage rates, while still elevated, are showing early signs of softening. That's actually a compelling combination for the right buyer in the right situation. Here's what I still want to cover: the job market and economic foundation that makes Boise worth betting on long term. The submarket breakdown across Meridian, Eagle, and Nampa, and the honest assessment of where this market is headed. Before we get there, make sure you grab the free Boise relocation guide I put together for buyers and families considering a move to the Treasure Valley. It covers the best neighborhoods, top-rated schools, and everything you would want to know before making a decision this big. The link is in the description. Okay, back to the market. Why Boise is not just a pandemic fluke. One of the biggest criticisms of Boise's growth is that it is driven entirely by remote workers fleeing expensive coastal cities, and that now that remote work has normalized, demand would evaporate. The data says otherwise. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Boise Metro has consistently posted one of the lowest unemployment rates among Western metros. And Idaho continues to rank among the top states for both business formation and job growth. Companies like Micron, alongside a growing ecosystem of smaller firms, have created a durable employment base that is not going anywhere. This is not a market propped up by speculation. There is real economic substance here. One valley, 3 very different plays. Here is what I see constantly with relocating buyers. They hear Boise and treat the entire Treasure Valley as one market. It is not, and the difference matters. Meridian is your family-friendly, suburban polished, amenity-rich option with strong schools and plenty of new construction. If that lifestyle fits, Meridian delivers it consistently. Eagle is the premium play. Quieter, more rural in feel, excellent schools, and a buyer profile that tends to be more established. If you have flexibility in your budget and want a slower pace without sacrificing quality of life, Eagle is worth the premium. Nampa is the value conversation. According to the Intermountain MLS data, Nampa's median price point remains the most accessible in the valley, making it attractive for first-time buyers and investors watching the valley grow westward. None of these is the wrong answer, but they're genuinely different, and picking the right one depends on your life and not just your budget. The window is open, but it's not a garage door. Here is the honest bottom line. Boise in 2026 is not the frenzy of 2021, and it is not a distressed market. It is a market that went through a real correction and came out the other side with its fundamentals intact. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, Ada County remains one of the fastest growing counties in the Mountain West. Land is still constrained, especially in Eagle and parts of Meridian, and the quality of life that drew so many people here in the first place has not changed. This kind of window does not stay open indefinitely. Not because of hype, but because the underlying drivers of this market, jobs, migration, livability, and limited land, are still pointing in the same direction they have been pointing for years. Boise's 2026 housing market is more nuanced than the headlines suggest. Prices have stabilized after a meaningful correction from the 2022 peak. Inventory has given buyers breathing room they have not had in years, and the economic foundation underneath the Treasure Valley remains strong. Mortgage rates are elevated but showing early signs of softening, and the difference between Boise, Meridian, Eagle, and Nampa mean there's a real opportunity here for almost every buyer profile if you know where to look. The buyers who win in 2026 will be the ones who stop waiting for perfect conditions and start making informed moves now. If you're seriously considering a move to Boise or anywhere in the Treasure Valley, I would love to help you navigate it. Reach out to me directly through the link in the description and let us set up a conversation. No pressure, just real local insight from someone who lives and breathes this market every day. And if you've not grabbed the free Boise relocation guide yet, please do. It covers neighborhoods, schools, lifestyle, and everything a relocating buyer needs before starting their search. Link is right below. If you found this video helpful, the neighborhoods breakdown is a great one to watch next. I will have it linked right here. See you over there.